strategy when it comes to expanding. So this is also something that I'd like to put on the agenda and have an initial conversation with the board at our next meeting, although I think it probably is a bigger conversation. So it feels like there's been a lot of kind of queries and requests for expansion from lots of different stakeholders, and so it's something that I've been thinking about and speaking about with various different people. And then we had one of our current donors, Trueworths, saying that they didn't want to fund the Eco Warrior program this year because of the reach, and that they were really interested in something of scale, that more scalable, and in supporting us to scale. And are we considering scaling and using digital platforms to do that? And they were basically saying that they would like us to, and that they would like, even if it was like a 2 or 3 year proposal, that even if this year it was like a bit of initial research, and then that we would start to develop and roll it out in the coming years, that was something that they were interested in funding. And so in thinking about that, it spoke to various different stakeholders. So for example, Robin Pocock, who does our monitoring and evaluation, she does many other NGOs, M&E as well. And I chatted to her because obviously over the past 2 years, a lot of organizations have tried to put what they do onto digital platforms. And because she does the monitoring and evaluation, she has a good sense of how successful it's been, like what the impact and outcomes have been of that. And she was just basically saying that of all the organizations that she works with, no one's really had success with trying to take what they do in the communities and put it on digital platforms. I chatted with the kind of tech lady who works for Shine Literacy, because they are a project who is supported by Trueworths, and they have quite successfully put what they do onto digital platforms. But what they do is literacy and reading support, and they've basically made a mobile-friendly website for parents, but it's for parents that they already work with. So there were a few reasons why I think it's worked for them, but I think given that what they do is literacy and children listening to stories and things like that, I think that's lent itself to that being more successful for them. And then speaking with the Earthjar project team, so asking them what they thought about us putting resources onto digital platforms and try to expand our reach in that way. And it was pretty unanimously that they don't think that will work, especially if we're wanting to expand our reach with under-resourced communities and with school teachers. They were just like, the experience with Take 5 and the things that we've developed is that the teachers are just inundated, and that they forget about the stuff, and then they don't use it, and it sits on their phone or it sits on a website, that they all sorts of obstacles and kind of, I don't know if it would be called barriers to entry or something, but they don't have the data, they don't have the kind of smartphones, children don't have that kind of stuff either. And also they all felt that, like, because what we're doing is quite new and the essence of what we do is experiential and practical, that it just doesn't translate well onto digital platforms. And so there were some other variations of ideas for how we could expand, but they were all just saying that they felt very, very strongly that there needs to be a very big in-person component. And the one kind